Brother Teacher. This particular message and or video may not resonate very well with some, because there may perhaps be some that might be in denial. Denial of the fact that our police departments have gone crazy. They've become rampant in their administration of so-called justice, and the justice has been meted out to unsuspecting black people, primarily males that are black. Yes, that means teenagers, and that means adults. Here for quite a while, when I say quite a while, I mean many years now, but here in recent years, within, for example, the past 2 years, many black males have been killed at the hand of American police officers in numerous states and cities. Why is this? Do you have an answer? This nonsensical behavior, this violence against male blacks, and in some cases women, such as Sandra Bland, but for the purpose of this video, it's primarily males that I'm addressing. The question is why? And after we get beyond that question, the next question to follow is, what should we do about it? The American citizenry. What can we do and what should we do about rogue police officers? Example, there was a man in South Carolina. His name was, look at my notes for a second, Walter Scott, 50 years old, shot in the back by a police officer, not resisting, running away. It was alleged that he tried to struggle the police officer's taser away, but we come to find out that that was a lie by the police department. And this was all caught on video by a person standing by with a cell phone. Yes, a police officer that we put our trust in shot an unarmed man running away. He shot at him 8 times. 7 times, paused, and then an 8th time. Killed the man, walked up on him, handcuffed him, and told him to let me see your hands. The officer knew the man was incapacitated and or dead, and he still went through this rigmarole of let me see your hands. That's one case. Another case, here in recent months, was the young man that was in his vehicle in Cincinnati, Ohio, and a University of Cincinnati college campus police officer pulled him over, questioned him for ID, and he kept on telling the police officer that he didn't do anything wrong. And the police officer told him to step out of the vehicle. And the man asked him, why do you want me to step out of my vehicle? And he continued to ask the man and demand that the man step out of the vehicle. And the man kept asking him why. This is a black man as well. Let me see his name. That was Sam Dubose. I'm sorry, it's so many cases in my mind I have to refer to my notes sometime, but I do know the information. Sam Dubose asked the police officer why did he want him to step out of his vehicle if he did nothing wrong. Anyway, the man's vehicle, Dubose that is, was still running. The police officer, last name Tensing, put his hand through the window, trying to force the man out of the car, and then the car began to move forward because the man apparently didn't have the brake on. He had the car still in drive and his foot was on the brake. So now, the police officer pulled his weapon out. He fired into the car several times, killing Sam Dubose. And then the vehicle careened off into a tree. Unjustifiable murder. That's what it was. And then there's also the children that just died within years, past couple of years. LaQuan McDonald in Chicago. For whatever reason, he had a disagreement with someone and he had a knife in his hand. The police were called. He's walking down the street with the knife in his hand, not brandishing it. He had the knife alongside his body, his right side. Several police vehicles pulled up off to his left. After they pulled up, he began to veer off to the right. One police officer thought it necessary to unload 16 rounds into this young 17-year-old, LaQuan McDonald. He shot and killed this young man at the age of 17. He fired 16 times, and the man was not even approaching him or any of the other officers. He avoided them just by walking away, and he was shot 16 times and killed. Again, I say 17 years old. And then let us not forget the young man, Tamir Rice, 12 years old. There was a 911 call made in 2014. And the lady that called the 911 dispatcher said that there was a man in a park area that had a gun. She did not know whether or not it was a toy or if it was real. This is what she told the 911 dispatcher. But when the police arrived, there was one police vehicle, 2 police officers. The one police officer drove the vehicle right up within 10 feet of the young man, and the passenger side door opened, and the other police officer stepped out and shot and killed this 12-year-old young man, Tamir Rice. Shot and killed him. 2 things that come to mind. Number one, when you get a 911 dispatch call for the police stating that there's someone who possibly has a gun, when does one police car show up and only one police car? I've never seen it, never heard of it in my entire life, but one car showed up. Not only did one car show up, the one car that showed up pulled within 10 feet of the young man. A police officer steps out within 2 seconds, shoots the young man dead. Didn't ask any questions, didn't observe at a distance, didn't say, well, it could possibly be a gun. No, he saw a black young man and he shot him dead. He took his life from him. Just like the police officer in Chicago who unloaded the 16 rounds into McDonald, he took his life from him. Just like Sam DuBose in Cincinnati, his life was taken from him. All for nothing. So those that are watching this video, please answer that question. Why did these incidents occur? If you're a police officer, a lawyer, or someone in law enforcement or in the judicial system, don't try to keep padding these situations. Don't keep excusing the police officers. Something is definitely wrong. And the reason I chose these particular instances or these situations is because they are caught on camera and it is blatantly understood that it was unlawful what the police officers did. The camera can't lie. And coincidentally, lawsuits were paid to the families of most of these that I mentioned. Tamir Rice, over $6 million. Unlawful death. McDonald, there was a lawsuit for his mom, who was an estranged mom, mind you. Sam, what is his name? Sam DuBose again. His family, I should say, received a lawsuit as well. over 5 million. Now, can we just simply throw money at the fact that the police, you know, has a kill a black person day and it's just business as usual? So now we're going to go ahead and throw some money at it and make everything all right. But I want to let you know that everything is not all right. For those who think that I'm just ranting on and that I have no basis for what I'm saying, I'm going to leave the link below to the videos so that you can see them for yourself if you have not seen them already, because they made national news. But if you're in denial and you don't want to watch them and you want to leave some kind of nasty remark, feel free to do that, and I'll feel free to also block you. But to those that actually want to know what's going on in the world in which you live, the world in which we all live, we should all be very, very afraid and very, very unsure and uncertain about how justice is being meted out against black people, especially black males in this so-called country that we call the United States of America. Because that is just a handful of cases, but it's been hundreds of black people who have died at the hand of the police unlawfully within the past several years. So what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it, America? Let me know what your opinions are, your feelings, your viewpoints in the comment section below, and I'll let you know what my response is. And till we see you again in the next video, you be blessed. This is Brother Teacher, and I'm out.